Alright, quick but critical disclaimer right up front. I am not a lawyer, and this presentation is not legal advice. It's for educational and informational purposes only, based on years of experience as a full-time creator. Copyright law is complex, especially in the United States, and it can change. For legal questions specific to your situation, please consult with a qualified attorney. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into it. You know the feeling. Your stomach drops. It's that little red notification, or worse, the email that lands in your inbox with a subject line that makes your blood run cold. Copyright claim on your video. Suddenly, that video you spent 30 hours editing, the one you were so proud of, is a source of pure panic. Your mind starts racing. What did I do wrong? Was it that background track I used for 15 seconds? I thought it was okay. Is this a strike? Am I going to lose my channel? All that work, all that passion, suddenly held hostage by a confusing automated email from a company you've never even heard of. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. For a creator on YouTube, this is the nightmare scenario. Because it's not just about one video. It's about the infamous 3-strike system. One mistake, you get a warning. A second mistake, you might lose features or get a temporary suspension. But that third strike, that's it. Game over. Your entire channel, your library of content, your community, your potential income, can be deleted permanently. And this happens to thousands of creators, big and small, every single day. They fall into a trap they never even saw coming. But what if it didn't have to be this way? What if you had a system, a bulletproof method, to find incredible high-quality music for every single video you make, without ever having to worry about that dreaded copyright email again? What if you could turn music, your biggest source of anxiety, into your most powerful tool for storytelling and audience engagement? That's not a hypothetical. That is the exact promise of this video. This is going to be the definitive step-by-step guide you've been searching for. We are going to solve this problem for you for good. By the end of this presentation, you will have a rock-solid understanding of how to safely, legally, and creatively use music to make your videos better, grow your audience, and protect your channel. We're going to cover everything. First, we are going to pull back the curtain on the ridiculously confusing world of music licensing. I'm talking Creative Commons, royalty-free, public domain, copyright-free. What do these terms actually mean for you? A US-based creator trying to monetize your content? We're going to break it down in plain English with zero legal jargon. You'll finally understand the difference between a royalty-free license and a Creative Commons attribution license, and why mixing them up can lead to a demonetized video or a channel strike. We'll demystify the alphabet soup of licenses like CC by SA, and the all-important CC0, so you can read a license agreement with confidence and know exactly what you can and can't do. Next, I'm going to take you on a deep dive into the absolute best free resources for commercial use music. And let me be clear, I'm not talking about those sketchy no copyright sounds YouTube channels that are a ticking time bomb. Many of those channels don't actually own the rights to the music they're promoting, and when they get taken down, every creator who used their music gets hit with copyright claims retroactively. It's a trap. We're avoiding that. We're focusing on legitimate, safe, and surprisingly high-quality libraries. We'll explore how to navigate YouTube's own audio library like a pro to find the hidden gems, not just the same 5 ukulele tracks you hear in every other vlog. I'll show you other vetted sources for truly free, public domain, and CC0 music that are perfect when you're just starting out or on a tight budget. Then we'll talk about when it's time to level up. For creators who are serious about quality and want to stand out, a subscription service is a game changer. But which one? We're going to put the biggest players in the industry under the microscope. Epidemic Sound, Artlist, MusicBed, Soundstripe. What's the real difference? Is one better for cinematic filmmakers and another better for fast-paced commentary channels? We'll do a side-by-side comparison of their library size, the quality of their artists, their search functionality, and most importantly, the fine print in their licensing agreements. Does their license cover you forever? Even if you cancel your subscription? Can you use their music for sponsored content? We'll answer all of it, so you can make an informed decision and invest your hard-earned money into the platform that is genuinely the right fit for your channel and your wallet. And finally, and this might be the most valuable part of the entire video, I'm going to give you my personal 5-point checklist. This is the exact mental process I run through for every single track I consider using in a video. It's a simple but powerful framework that forces you to verify the source, understand the license, document your proof, and implement the music correctly. Following this checklist will virtually eliminate your risk of ever receiving a copyright claim. This system alone will save you countless hours of stress and could literally save your channel from deletion. Now let's just clear the air on a few dangerous myths that are floating around the creator community, because this bad information is what gets people into trouble. Myth number 1. The 10-second rule. You've probably heard it. Oh, you can use any song as long as it's under 10 seconds, or 15 or 30. This is completely 100% false. There is no magic number of seconds that protects you. From a legal standpoint, using even 1 second of a copyrighted song without permission is infringement. The automated content ID system can and will flag it. Don't ever rely on this myth. Myth number 2. Giving credit in the description is enough. So many people think that if they just type music by artist name, I don't own the rights, that they're somehow covered. This is a nice gesture, but legally it means almost nothing. It's like stealing a car and leaving a note on the dashboard that says, "This car belongs to John Smith." You still stole the car. A license is permission. Credit is an attribution. They are not the same thing, and giving credit without a license won't stop a copyright strike. And the biggest myth of all, I'll just claim fair use. Fair use is one of the most misunderstood concepts on the internet. It is not a magic shield you can just invoke to use whatever content you want. It's a complex legal doctrine, a defense that you would have to argue, and likely pay a lawyer to argue in a court of law. It's determined on a case-by-case basis, weighing factors like the purpose of your use, the nature of the work, the amount you used, and the effect on the market. For 99% of creators just looking for a background track for their video, your use will not qualify as fair use. Relying on it is playing Russian roulette with your entire channel. So forget the myth. Forget the anxiety. Imagine, right now, never having to feel that stomach-dropping panic of a copyright email ever again. Imagine having a curated folder on your computer filled with thousands of incredible, fully licensed cinematic scores, lo-fi beats, and upbeat pop tracks, all ready to elevate your next video. Imagine having the confidence to know that every single piece of audio in your content is 100% safe, legal, and working to make your videos more engaging and professional. That's the clarity we are building today. By the end of this video, you won't just know where to find music. You will have a complete strategy to make music your creative superpower, not your legal liability. Let's begin. First, let's talk about the single biggest mistake creators make, a mistake that can get your channel deleted overnight. It's the belief in a myth. The myth of the 10-second rule. You've heard it, right? The idea that you can use any song you want as long as it's under 10 or maybe 15 seconds. Let me be crystal clear. That is completely 100% false. It's a creator urban legend. Using 1 second of a copyrighted song without permission is still copyright infringement. Think of it like this. If you stole a single diamond from a jewelry store, you can't tell the judge, "But I didn't take the whole necklace." The law doesn't care about the quantity. It cares about the act itself. This is where so many channels get into trouble. They build their entire brand, their audience, their income on a foundation of sand, just waiting for the copyright tide to come in. And when it does, it's not just a single video that gets taken down. It's a cascade. First, a copyright strike. Your video is removed. You lose any revenue it made. Your ability to live stream might be revoked. Then another strike. And another. 3 strikes and YouTube's policy is blunt. Your channel is terminated. Everything you've built gone. So how do we avoid this disaster? We have to understand the battlefield. And the battlefield is governed by one word. Licensing. Forget everything you think you know about copyright law from internet forums. Today, we're simplifying it down to what actually matters for you, the creator. At its core, copyright is simple. When someone creates something original like a piece of music, they automatically own the copyright to it. It's their property. Just like your house is your property. You can't just walk into a stranger's house and start redecorating, right? You need permission. In the world of music, that permission is called a license. A license is a legal document, a permission slip from the owner that says, "Yes, you can use my property, but here are the rules." This is the most critical concept to grasp. When you get music for your videos, you are not buying the song. You are acquiring a license to use the song. The rules of that license dictate everything, where you can use it, for how long, and if you can use it for commercial purposes like a monetized YouTube video. Now you might be thinking, what about fair use? This is the second great myth. The siren song that has lured countless creators onto the rocks of copyright strikes. Fair use is a legal doctrine in the United States that allows for the limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes like commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. It sounds like a get-out-of-jail-free card, but it's not. Fair use is not a right. It's a legal defense. It's an argument you make in a court of law after you've been sued for copyright infringement. It's a judge who decides if your use was fair, based on 4 complex factors. There is no magic formula. Relying on fair use is like jumping out of a plane and hoping you can knit a parachute on the way down. For 99.9% of YouTube creators, simply putting a popular song in the background of your vlog, your tutorial, or your gaming video will not be considered fair use. Trying to argue it is an expensive, stressful, and losing battle. We are not going to rely on hope. We are going to rely on a strategy. So, if we can't just use any song and fair use is a trap, where do we get our music? I want you to imagine you're standing at a trailhead. In front of you are 3 distinct paths through the forest of music licensing. Each path has its own terrain, its own dangers, and its own rewards. The first path is called the public domain. This path is old, winding, and covered in moss. The public domain consists of creative works where the copyright has expired. In the US, this generally means anything published before 1928. Think classical music from Beethoven, Mozart, or Chopin. The major advantage? It's completely free to use for any purpose, including your monetized videos. No permission needed. But this path has hidden pitfalls. First, the composition might be in the public domain, but a specific recording of it is not. The London Symphony Orchestra's 2023 recording of Beethoven's Fifth is protected by its own copyright. To be safe, you need to find a recording that is also in the public domain, which often means you're dealing with very old, low-quality audio from the early 20th century. It can be a huge amount of work to verify, and the quality might not match your video. The second path is Creative Commons. This path is like a community garden. The musicians, the artists, have chosen to share their work with the public, but they've posted a set of rules on the garden gate. These rules are the Creative Commons licenses. There are several types, but they all boil down to a few key symbols. BY means you must give attribution. You have to credit the original artist in your description. SA means share alike, so if you use the music, your video must be shared under the same license. ND means no derivatives, so you can't remix or change the music. But the most important one for us is NC, non-commercial. If you see NC on a license, you cannot use that music in a monetized YouTube video. Period. Running ads on your video is a commercial activity. This is a massive trap. Many creators see free music on a Creative Commons site, use it, and then get a copyright claim a year later because their channel grew and they turned on monetization, violating the NC license. Creative Commons can be a fantastic resource, but you must become a detective, carefully reading the fine print of every single license for every single track. It's powerful, but it requires constant vigilance. This brings us to the third path, the superhighway, the path built specifically for creators like us. This path is called royalty-free licensing. Now, this is the most misunderstood term in the entire creator economy. Let's clear it up right now. Royalty-free does not mean free of cost. What it means is that you don't have to pay royalties, which are ongoing payments based on usage, each time your video is viewed. Think of it like this. Taylor Swift doesn't get a one-time payment for her songs. She gets royalties every time a song is played on the radio, streamed on Spotify, or used in a movie. It's a constant revenue stream. Royalty-free music flips that model on its head. With a royalty-free license, you typically pay a one-time fee to license the track for your project. Sometimes this is a single payment for one song, or more commonly, it's a monthly or annual subscription to a service that gives you access to an entire library. You pay your subscription, you download the song, you use it in your YouTube video, and you never have to pay another dime for that use, whether your video gets 100 views or 100 million views. This is the model that provides the most security, the highest quality, and the greatest peace of mind for serious YouTube creators. It's the difference between foraging for berries in a wild forest, hoping you don't eat something poisonous, and walking into a well-lit, clearly labeled supermarket. In the supermarket, you know what you're getting. You pay at the checkout, and the food is yours to use as you see fit. The public domain is the wild forest. Creative Commons is the community garden with a long list of rules. Royalty-free is the supermarket, built for convenience and safety. So we've mapped the terrain. We understand the 3 paths. We know the dangers of the copyright myths and the mirage of fair use. The question is no longer, where can I get music? The question is, which path is the right one for me? And how do I navigate it to find the absolute best music that will make my videos unforgettable? Because inside that royalty-free supermarket, there are thousands of aisles. Some are filled with incredible high-quality tracks that sound like they belong in a Hollywood blockbuster. Others are filled with generic, outdated, elevator music that will put your audience to sleep. The key is knowing exactly where to look. So let's pull back the curtain. Think of me as your guide on a tour of the world's best digital record stores, built specifically for creators like us. We're going to start with the titans, the big players you've probably heard of, and for good reason. These are the subscription-based services that have completely changed the game. The model is simple, like a Netflix for music. You pay a monthly or annual fee, and you get unlimited access to their entire catalog. Download as many tracks as you want, use them in as many videos as you want, all while your subscription is active. This model removes the friction of buying tracks one by one, and more importantly, it solves the copyright nightmare. When you subscribe, you link your YouTube channel and they whitelist it. This tells YouTube's automated content ID system, hey, this person has permission. Leave them alone. It's peace of mind in a subscription box. First up, the undisputed king of the vlogging and fast-paced content world, Epidemic Sound. If you watch any of the top lifestyle, tech, or travel creators, you have heard Epidemic Sound. Their library is massive, with over 40,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, and it's growing every single week. But their real genius isn't just the size. It's the organization. You can search by genre, mood, tempo, vocals, and even specific instruments. But their curated playlists are where the magic happens. Need a playlist for a cozy autumn morning vlog? They have it. A high-energy workout montage? Done. Lo-fi beats for studying? They've got dozens. The quality is consistently high, polished, and modern. It's music designed to sit perfectly under dialogue, to drive a montage forward, to add that professional sheen that separates amateur videos from professional ones. One of their killer features is the ability to download stems. This means you can download the separate parts of a track, just the drums, just the bass line, just the melody, or a version with no vocals. This is a game changer for editing. You can have the full track playing during a B-roll sequence, then drop out everything but the subtle melody when you start talking, creating a dynamic, professional sound mix without being a professional audio engineer. The licensing is straightforward. Their personal plan covers your channel on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch, and as long as you publish the video while your subscription is active, it's cleared forever. Even if you cancel your subscription down the line, the videos you already published are safe. Now let's pivot to the second titan, Artlist. If Epidemic Sound is the master of modern, upbeat, vlogger-friendly tracks, Artlist is the master of cinematic, emotional, and story-driven music. The moment you land on their site, you feel the difference. It feels less like a stock library and more like a curated collection of real artists and bands. The music here has a certain soul, a depth that's perfect for short films, documentaries, wedding videos, and any YouTube video that aims to tell a powerful story. Artlist's library is smaller than Epidemic's, but it's a classic case of quality over quantity. Every track feels like it was handpicked. Their search functionality is brilliant. You can filter by mood, video theme like travel, business, or food, and by instrument. But their Spotlight feature, which highlights new artists and themed collections, is an incredible way to discover music you wouldn't have found otherwise. The overall vibe is more organic, more indie, more authentic. It's less about generic background music and more about finding a centerpiece track that can define the entire emotional arc of your video. Their licensing model is famously simple. They offer a few tiers, but the core promise is universal. One subscription, unlimited downloads, and the music is yours to use forever. They call it a lifetime license. This is a key difference. With Artlist, any song you download during your subscription is licensed for you to use in any project, forever, even after your subscription ends. This offers an incredible amount of security and value. It's a slightly different philosophy, appealing to filmmakers and creators who are building a personal library of assets they can return to again and again. So the choice between Epidemic and Artlist often comes down to your content style. Fast, modern, and polished? Epidemic. Cinematic, emotional, and story-focused? Artlist. But the tour doesn't end there. Beyond these two giants are other incredible platforms that cater to more specific needs. Let's talk about MusicBed. If Artlist is the Indie Film Festival, MusicBed is the Hollywood studio. For years, MusicBed has been the secret weapon for high-end filmmakers, advertisers, and documentarians. They are known for one thing above all else: unbelievable top-tier quality. The music on MusicBed is often indistinguishable from what you'd hear in a major motion picture or a Super Bowl commercial. They represent a roster of world-class, label-quality artists and composers. Using MusicBed is an experience. You're not just browsing corporate upbeat. You're discovering artists like Chad Lawson or Dexter Britton. The platform is designed for discovery, with beautifully curated playlists and an aesthetic that just screams premium. This level of quality comes at a price. MusicBed is generally more expensive than the other platforms we've discussed, and their licensing can be a bit more granular. They offer subscription plans, but they also have a robust single-song licensing option for major commercial projects. For a YouTuber, their subscription is the way to go. But you need to be serious about your craft. MusicBed is for the creator who sees sound design not as an afterthought, but as 50% of the final product. It's an investment, but if your brand is built on breathtaking cinematic quality, there is no substitute. Finally, let's look at a fantastic and sometimes overlooked contender that strikes a perfect balance: Soundstripe. Think of Soundstripe as the reliable, incredibly user-friendly workhorse. They offer a massive library of high-quality music and sound effects, with thousands of new tracks added each month. Their quality is excellent, sitting comfortably alongside the best of them, but where Soundstripe really shines is in its user experience and integrations. Their website is clean, fast, and intuitive. They have curated playlists for everything you can imagine, from game streams to podcast intros. But their secret sauce is their integrations. Soundstripe has plugins for Adobe Premiere Pro and Frame.io. This means you can browse, preview, and license their entire music library directly inside your video editing software. You never have to leave your project timeline. This workflow enhancement is a massive time saver for serious editors. You can drop watermarked versions of songs into your edit, see what works, and then license and sync the high-quality version with a single click. It's seamless. Their pricing is very competitive, offering different tiers that include just music, or music and sound effects, and even a higher tier that includes video footage. Like Artlist, the songs you use are licensed forever. Soundstripe has carved out a perfect niche for itself by focusing on being the most efficient, integrated, and creator-friendly tool on the market. They deliver A-tier quality with an A+ workflow. So there you have it. The 4 pillars of the subscription music world. Epidemic sound for the modern vlogger, Artlist for the cinematic storyteller, MusicBed for the premium filmmaker, and Soundstripe for the efficient power editor. Investing in any of these services is one of the single biggest leaps you can make in the production value of your content. It's the line between a video that feels like a hobby and one that feels like a profession. But let's be honest. For many people, especially when you're just starting out, a monthly subscription isn't in the budget. You're trying to build something from nothing, and every dollar counts. Does that mean you're stuck with cheesy, outdated, royalty-free music from the dawn of the internet? Does it mean you have to risk a copyright strike just to make your video feel alive? Absolutely not. In fact, some of the best-kept secrets in the world of video music are completely 100% free. You just have to know exactly where to dig. Let's start with the most obvious, the most overlooked, and arguably the safest place on the entire internet to get music for your videos: the YouTube Audio Library. Tucked away inside your YouTube studio. This is Google's own treasure chest of royalty-free music and sound effects, created specifically for you, the creator. Think about that. The very platform that polices copyright has handed you a pre-approved, certified safe toolkit. Using music from here is like getting the answers to the test from the teacher before you even sit down. It is physically impossible to get a copyright claim or strike for using a track from this library. Monetization. Fully supported, no questions asked. Now, when you dive in, you'll see thousands of tracks you can filter by genre, mood, artist, duration, and 2 very important license types. The first is no attribution required. This is the dream. You find a track you like, you download it, you use it, and you never have to think about it again. It's a complete free pass. The second type is attribution required. This is where some people get nervous, but they shouldn't. It's incredibly simple. When you select an attribution required track, YouTube literally gives you a small block of text to copy. All you have to do is paste that text into your video's description box. That's it. That's the entire work you have to do. You're just giving a simple credit to the artist who provided their music for free. It's a tiny price to pay for a free soundtrack. The downside? Well, because it's so easy and accessible, it's also what everyone else is using. You might find that perfect upbeat ukulele track, only to realize it's the same one used in 10,000 other vlogs and tech tutorials. The selection can sometimes feel a bit corporate, a bit generic. It's safe, it's reliable, but it might not have that unique spark you're looking for. So, where do you go when the safe option feels a little too boring? You venture out into the wild west of the internet, armed with one critical piece of knowledge: Creative Commons. Creative Commons is not a company or a website. It's a type of license. It's a non-profit organization that created a framework for creators to share their work with the public, specifying exactly how it can and cannot be used. It's a way for an artist to say, "Hey, I want you to use my music, but here are my rules." Understanding these rules is the key that unlocks a universe of incredible free music that most people are too intimidated to touch. Let's break down the most important license types for you as a YouTuber. First, the Holy Grail, CC0, also known as public domain dedication. When you see CC0, your eyes should light up. This means the creator has waived all their rights to the work. You can copy, modify, distribute, and perform the work, even for commercial purposes, all without asking permission or giving credit. It is the ultimate do-whatever-you-want license. It's as free as the air you breathe. Next, and far more common, is the CC BY license, which stands for Creative Commons Attribution. This is exactly like the attribution-required music in the YouTube audio library. You are free to use the music in any way you want, for any purpose, including monetized videos, as long as you give credit to the original creator. That's the BY part. You have to say who it's by. We'll talk about how to do that perfectly in a moment, but just know that this is one of the most powerful and widely available licenses for creators. Now, for the ones you need to be careful of, these are the hidden traps. You'll see licenses with extra letters, like NC for non-commercial, and ND for no derivatives. These are critical. NC non-commercial means you cannot use the work for commercial purposes. If you plan to run ads on your YouTube video, or if your channel promotes your business in any way that's a commercial purpose. Using an NC license track on a monetized video is a direct violation of that license. So, as a general rule for YouTubers looking to grow, avoid NC licenses. The other one is ND no derivatives. This means you can use the work, but you cannot change it. For music, this is a huge problem. Fading the music out at the end of a scene? That's changing it. Looping a short section to fit a longer sequence? That's changing it. Talking over the music? You're creating a derivative work. The ND license is so restrictive for video editing that it's almost unusable. So the takeaway is simple. Look for CC0 and CC BY. Steer clear of NC and ND. Okay, so you know the rules of the road. Where do you actually go to find this music? Your first stop should be the Free Music Archive, or FMA. It's a massive, well-curated library of high-quality music. The key here is to use their search filters. Before you even listen to a single track, you can filter the entire library to only show you music licensed for commercial use. This instantly removes all the NC tracks and saves you a ton of time and potential heartache. Next, we have to talk about a legend, a man who is essentially the patron saint of early YouTube, Kevin MacLeod, and his website Incompetech. If you've watched YouTube for any length of time, you have heard his music. His tracks are iconic. They are the sound of 1,000,001 tutorials, vlogs, and science explainers. And he gives it all away under a simple CC BY license. All he asks is that you credit him in your description. He's a perfect example of the power of the Creative Commons system. Beyond these giants, new platforms are popping up all the time. Websites like Pixabay and Pexels, which are famous for free stock photos and videos, now have extensive audio libraries as well. Their licenses are often even simpler than Creative Commons, usually just a simple free to use with no attribution required, but you must always, and I mean always, read the specific license for each individual track you download. Don't assume. Click the license info button and read the 1 or 2 sentences there. It will save you a world of trouble. Now here's the catch with all of this free music. The price you pay isn't in dollars, it's in time and diligence. Finding a gem in these massive libraries can take hours of searching and listening, and you absolutely must be organized. This is non-negotiable. When you download a track, you need to document it. Create a simple text file or a spreadsheet. For every video you make, list the songs you used. Next to each song title, write the artist's name, the website you got it from, and a copy of the license type. Was it CC0? Was it CC BY? If it requires attribution, you need to do it correctly. A proper credit isn't just music by Kevin MacLeod. A good, safe, professional attribution looks like this. Track title by artist name. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0. Source. And then you paste the direct link to where you got the song. This is your proof. This is your receipt. If a copyright claim ever comes through, either by mistake from an automated system or from someone falsely claiming the music, this information is your shield. You can point directly to the license and the source, proving you have every right to use that music. Without this documentation, it's just your word against theirs. Being diligent about this isn't just a good idea. It's a core part of being a professional creator. So yes, the world of free music is vast and full of incredible value. It allows anyone, anywhere, to score their videos without spending a dime. It just requires you to be a bit of a digital archaeologist to do the digging, to check your sources, and to document your findings. But what happens when free isn't enough? When you've spent hours digging and still can't find that perfect cinematic track that makes your video come alive? What if I told you that for the price of a cup of coffee, you could unlock a world of professional broadcast quality music that will make your content sound like a Hollywood production? That's where subscription services come in, and they have completely changed the game. For creators, imagine walking into a massive digital library of music, a library with millions of tracks, sound effects, and stems, all meticulously categorized by genre, mood, instrument, and even beats per minute. Now imagine that instead of paying $50, $100, or even $500 for a single book, you pay a small monthly fee like Netflix or Spotify, and you get to check out as many books as you want for as many projects as you want. That is the subscription model in a nutshell. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet of high-quality audio, and it solves the three biggest problems creators face with music: cost, complexity, and choice. Let's break down the cost first because it's the most staggering difference. If you make just one video a month and license a single decent quality track for it from a traditional marketplace, you might spend anywhere from $40 to $80. That's nearly $1,000 a year. A typical music subscription service? We're talking $15 to $30 a month. For that price, you don't get one track. You get unlimited tracks. You can use 10 different songs in a single video if you want. You can score your intro, your outro, your B-roll sequences, and have background music for your main narration, all without ever thinking, is this going to break my budget? The value proposition is off the charts. For a creator publishing weekly or even multiple times a week, it's not just a good deal, it's an economic necessity. Next is complexity, and this is where these services truly shine. The old way of licensing was a minefield of legal jargon. Was your license for web use only? Did it cover monetization? Was it for a single project or multiple? Did it have a view count limit? It was exhausting. Subscription services blow all of that up. Their entire business model is built around the modern creator. The license is typically a simple blanket agreement. As long as your subscription is active, you can use any music from their library in your videos, on your specified channel, and monetize them without fear. When you sign up, you link your YouTube channel to your account. This is a crucial step. It essentially whitelists your channel with their system. So when you upload a video using their music, YouTube's Content ID system scans it, sees the music, checks with the subscription services database, and confirms that you are a licensed user. The potential copyright claim is automatically cleared, usually before your video even goes public. The headache is gone. The anxiety is gone. You are free to create. And finally, there's choice. But it's not just about the sheer quantity of tracks. It's about the quality of curation. These platforms are not just giant messy folders of MP3s. They are sophisticated discovery engines. You can search for uplifting corporate, dark cinematic trailer, lo-fi study beats, or 8-bit retro gaming. You can filter by vocals or instrumental, by duration, by key. They have playlists curated by actual people for things like vlog favorites, podcast intros, or tech reviews. They use AI to recommend tracks based on what you've downloaded before. They save you from the most time-consuming part of the process, the search. What used to take hours of frustrating digging can now take minutes. So, who are the major players in this space? You've probably heard their names in the descriptions of your favorite YouTubers. First up is Epidemic Sound. They are one of the giants. Based in Sweden, they're known for an incredibly diverse and high-quality library. They own all the rights to their music, which simplifies the licensing process even further. A huge differentiator for them is that many of their tracks offer stems. This means you can download the full track or just the drums, just the bass line, just the vocals, or the instrumental version. This is a power user feature that gives you incredible control over how the music fits into your edit. They also have a massive library of top-tier sound effects included in their subscription. Then there's Artlist. Artlist has built a reputation on a foundation of impeccable curation. Their tagline is often about quality over quantity. The music on Artlist often feels more cinematic, more like it was composed by indie artists for a film. Their universal license is a massive selling point. It covers pretty much any video project you can think of, from YouTube to commercial client work, with one simple plan. They've also expanded to include sound effects, stock footage, and video templates under their broader Artlist Max subscription, aiming to be a one-stop shop for all of a creator's assets. Next is MusicBed. If Artlist is for the filmmaker, MusicBed is for the auteur. They position themselves as the premium option, featuring music from real label quality, touring artists and composers. The quality is absolutely breathtaking. Using a track from MusicBed can give your project an immediate sense of prestige and emotional depth that is hard to replicate. Because of this, their pricing is higher and often targeted more towards professional filmmakers and ad agencies, but they do have subscription tiers for individual creators who refuse to compromise on sound. And you also have Soundstripe. Soundstripe is another fantastic competitor that strikes a great balance between a massive library, high-quality music, and innovative features. They have a deep catalog of radio-quality music and are known for their excellent playlist curation. They also offer integrations with tools like Adobe Premiere Pro and Frame.io, allowing you to browse and add music directly within your editing software, which is a huge workflow enhancement. Like the others, they also offer a comprehensive library of sound effects and have expanded into video and other assets as well. Now you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? And that's a fair question. There are two critical things you need to understand. First, what happens when you cancel your subscription? This is the #1 source of confusion. Let's be very clear. For the vast majority of these services, any video you publish to your channel while your subscription was active is licensed forever. The clearance is perpetual. You will never get a copyright claim on those old videos. What you can't do is download new songs or use their music in any new videos you create after your subscription has ended. So, the protection for your past work is locked in. You're safe. The second thing is to pay close attention to the different subscription tiers. Almost all of these services will offer a personal or creator plan and a pro or commercial plan. The personal plan is usually the cheapest one you see advertised. It's perfect if you are an individual creator making content for your own YouTube channel, your own Twitch stream, your own social media. The license covers your channels. But the moment you start doing work for someone else, making a video for a local business, a wedding video for a client, or an online ad for a brand, you need to upgrade to the commercial plan. This plan extends the license to cover work you do for third parties. Using a personal license for commercial work is a violation of their terms and can land you and your client in serious trouble. So always read the fine print and choose the plan that matches the work you are actually doing. The subscription model has fundamentally democratized access to world-class music. It has leveled the playing field, allowing a solo creator in their bedroom to have a soundtrack that rivals a major television production. It replaces uncertainty with peace of mind and scarcity with abundance. It lets you focus on what you do best, telling a great story. But what if even $15 or $20 a month is more than you can spend right now? What if you're just starting out and your budget is, well, zero? Is there a way to get good, safe, commercially usable music without spending a single dime? The answer is a resounding yes. And the solution is probably already open in another tab on your browser. YouTube itself has a secret weapon for every creator, built right into the dashboard, and most people don't even know how powerful it truly is. It's the YouTube audio library. And before you click away, before you say, oh, I know about that, it's just a bunch of cheesy corporate ukulele music, I need you to hear me out. Because that's the perception, right? That it's the free budget option filled with tracks that scream, my first PowerPoint presentation. And 5 years ago, you might have been right. But today, thinking that way is like dismissing Netflix because you remember when they only mailed out DVDs. You are missing out on one of the most powerful and safest tools in your entire creator arsenal. Let's pull back the curtain. Inside your YouTube studio, on the left-hand menu, way down at the bottom, is a little musical note icon labeled Audio Library. Clicking this doesn't just open a list of songs. It opens a vault. A pre-cleared, copyright-safe, monetization-friendly vault of thousands upon thousands of music tracks and sound effects, gifted to you by YouTube itself. The problem is, most creators click it, see a giant, intimidating list, listen to the first 2 songs, and then immediately close the tab. They're using a treasure map as a placemat. The real power isn't in the list, it's in the filters. This is where you go from a random rummager to a sonic surgeon. You can filter by genre, from ambient to cinematic to hip-hop. You can filter by mood, angry, bright, dramatic, inspirational. You can even filter by the specific artist or track title if you find someone you like. You can filter by duration, which is a lifesaver. Need a 30-second track for a quick intro? Boom, filter for it. Need a 10-minute ambient bed to sit under your entire podcast-style video? Done. But the most important filter, the one that separates the amateurs from the pros, is the one labeled attribution. This is the master key. Clicking it reveals 2 options: attribution not required and attribution required. Let's start with the one that brings a tear of joy to every creator's eye. Attribution not required. This is the holy grail. When you select this filter, every single track that appears is yours to use, completely free, with absolutely no strings attached. You don't have to credit the artist. You don't have to put anything in your description. You download the MP3, drop it into your timeline, and never think about it ever again. You can monetize your video, it can get 1 billion views, and you will never ever get a copyright claim or a strike from these tracks. Think about the sheer peace of mind that provides. I know a creator, let's call her Sarah. Sarah was making incredible DIY home renovation videos. She spent a week filming the perfect time-lapse of her building a bookshelf. She found what she thought was a royalty-free song on some random website, a nice upbeat acoustic track. She edited her video to the beat, every cut, every zoom was perfect. She uploaded it, and within an hour demonetized. A copyright claim from a massive record label. All that work, all that passion, held hostage by a music track she thought was safe. She was devastated. That's when she discovered the attribution not required filter in the YouTube library. She found a similar track, spent an hour re-editing and re-uploaded. It's been up for 3 years, has over 1 million views, and has earned her thousands of dollars in AdSense. All because she chose the safe, smart option that was right there waiting for her. This filter is your insurance policy. But now, let's talk about the other option, the one most people ignore. Attribution required. And they ignore it out of fear or, let's be honest, a little bit of laziness. But I'm telling you, you are leaving some of the absolute best music on the table if you skip this section. What does attribution even mean? It sounds complicated, like you have to hire a lawyer to draft a document. It's not. YouTube makes it painfully simple. When you find a track you like in this category, you click on it. A little window pops up with a box of text. Your only job is to copy that text and paste it into your video's description box. That's it. That is the entire price of using the song. For the effort of a 5-second copy and paste, you unlock a completely different catalog of music. Often, these are tracks from more established artists who want to contribute to the creator community, but still want credit for their work, which is completely fair. You'll find more complex arrangements, more unique instrumentals, and tracks with a much more professional, polished feel. By simply adding a few lines of text to your description, which, by the way, most viewers will never even see unless they expand it, you double the size and often the quality of your available music library. It's the best deal on the platform, and we're not even done. Tucked away right next to the Music tab is another one. Sound effects. This is another game changer that gets criminally overlooked. High-quality production isn't just about a slick camera and a good background score. It's about the little things. The subtle whoosh when a graphic slides onto the screen. The satisfying click when you point to something. The sound of a crowd cheering, a vinyl record crackling, or a forest ambience that makes your B-roll feel alive. The YouTube audio library has tens of thousands of these, all professionally recorded, all completely free. Adding just 2 or 3 well-placed sound effects can elevate your video from feeling homemade to feeling like a professional production. And here's a pro tip for managing all of this. As you browse, next to every single track and sound effect, there's a little star icon. When you find a song you like, even if you don't use it right away, click that star. This adds it to your personal starred tab. Over time, you're not just searching for music anymore. You're building your own curated, personal library. You're developing your channel's sonic brand. You'll have a folder of your favorite high-energy tracks for intros, a folder of chill lo-fi beats for montages, and your go-to sound effects, all waiting for you. No more starting from scratch with every video. You become efficient, you become consistent, and your workflow speeds up immensely. So it's free, it's safe, it's massive, and it's built right in. What's the catch? There are a couple of things to be aware of. First, because it's so accessible, some of the most popular tracks are, well, popular. You will start to recognize certain songs from other creators' videos. This just means you have to be a bit of a connoisseur. Don't just grab the first track on the popular list. Dig a little deeper. Use the filters. Sort by date, add it to find the newest stuff that no one is using yet. Be the trendsetter, not the follower. Second, and this is the most critical rule of all, the license for this music applies only to content on YouTube. You cannot download a track from the YouTube audio library and then use it in an Instagram reel, a TikTok, a sponsored ad that runs on Facebook, or your podcast that's hosted elsewhere. The moment that audio file leaves the YouTube ecosystem, its free license evaporates. This is YouTube's gift to YouTube creators for use on YouTube, period. Respecting that one simple rule will keep you safe. The YouTube audio library is your foundational toolkit. It's the single best place to start your journey into video music, and for many creators, it's the only resource they'll ever need. It removes the fear of copyright and empowers you to add a professional audio landscape to your content for free. But what if you've explored the entire library and you still want something more? What if you need a track that's truly unique, something that no one else is using? That's when you graduate from the free library and step into the world of professional subscription services, where for the price of a few coffees a month, you unlock the entire music industry's vault. And we're going to break down the absolute best ones next. Let's kick the doors down with the heavyweight champion of the creator world, Epidemic Sound. If you've watched YouTube for more than 10 minutes, you've heard their music. It's the engine running under the hood of so many of your favorite channels, and for good reason. Think of Epidemic as the Costco of creator music, a massive all-in-one warehouse where you can get everything you need in a single trip. They have a library of over 40,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, and it's growing every single week. The real magic of Epidemic isn't just the sheer volume. It's the surgical precision with which you can find what you need. Their search interface is a masterclass. You're not just searching for upbeat pop. You're searching for upbeat pop with a feeling of adventure. A BPM of 120, perfect for a travel vlog intro. You can filter by genre, mood, tempo, vocals, and even specific instruments. It's designed for creators who are moving fast and can't afford to spend an hour digging for the right track. They need it now. But here's their secret weapon, the feature that truly sets them apart for editors: stems. Imagine you find the perfect song. The beat is right, the melody is perfect, but the vocals are just a little too distracting when you're talking over it. Or maybe you love the bass line but wish the drums were quieter. With most services, you're stuck. With Epidemic, you can download the stems, separate audio files for the vocals, the drums, the bass, the melody. This gives you God-level control. You can completely remix the track right inside your editing software to perfectly fit your video. You can use just the drum beat for a tense build-up, then bring in the melody for the reveal. It's a game changer that turns one song into a dozen possibilities. Now let's talk licensing, because this is crucial. Epidemic operates on a classic subscription model like Netflix. As long as you are paying for your subscription, you can download and use as much music and as many sound effects as you want. Any video you publish during your active subscription is cleared forever. You will never get a copyright claim on that video, even if you cancel your subscription a year later. But here's the catch you need to understand. If you cancel, you can no longer use their music in new videos. The protection only applies to content published while you were a paying member. So, who is Epidemic Sound for? It's for the modern multi-platform creator. The vlogger, the streamer, the educator, the social media manager who needs a massive, versatile, and easily searchable library of both music and sound effects. If you're uploading consistently to YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and you want maximum creative control with stems, Epidemic is built from the ground up just for you. Next up, let's talk about Artlist. If Epidemic is the sprawling supermarket, Artlist is the curated, artisanal farmers market. They might not have the same staggering numbers, but every single track in their library feels like it was handpicked for its quality and emotional impact. Artlist has built its brand around filmmakers and storytellers. Their music just feels more cinematic. It has a depth, a soul that you don't always find in more generic stock libraries. Their user experience reflects this philosophy. Instead of just a million filters, their homepage guides you through curated collections based on theme and mood. You'll find playlists for singer-songwriter, coffee shop, road trip, or business cinematic. It feels less like a database and more like a record store where a knowledgeable clerk is helping you find the perfect vibe. It encourages discovery. You'll often go in looking for one thing and come out with a new favorite artist you never would have found otherwise. But the single biggest reason creators flock to Artlist is their license. It is, without a doubt, the simplest and most powerful license in the industry. They call it their universal license, and it's beautiful. You pay for a subscription, either yearly or monthly, and for that period you can download anything you want from their entire catalog. Here's the kicker. Any song you download is yours to use in any project forever. Let me repeat that. If you download a song today and cancel your subscription tomorrow, you can still use that song in a video 5 years from now. No questions asked. This completely removes the anxiety that comes with subscription services. You're not just renting the music. You're acquiring a lifetime license for every track you download. This license covers everything from YouTube videos to client wedding films to commercial ads. It's one license to rule them all. It's an incredible value proposition and offers unparalleled peace of mind. They also have a robust sound effects library and recently introduced footage and templates, making it a more complete creative hub. So, who is Artlist for? It's for the storyteller, the filmmaker, the wedding videographer, the creator who values quality over quantity and wants the ultimate freedom and security in their licensing. If your content is driven by emotion and narrative, and you want to build a personal library of incredible music that you own a license for forever, Artlist is your answer. Now we've seen the powerhouse and the artisan. Let's talk about the final boss. This is where you go when your video needs to sound less like a YouTube video and more like a Christopher Nolan movie trailer. This is MusicBed. MusicBed is not a stock music library. It's a music licensing platform for real signed touring artists. These are the indie darlings and breakout bands you might hear on the radio or discover on Spotify. The quality is, to put it mildly, breathtaking. This is music crafted with artistic intent, not just to fill background space. When you use a track from MusicBed, you are licensing a piece of art, and it elevates your content to a level that few other services can touch. Because of this, their platform is geared towards the professional. The search is incredibly nuanced, allowing you to filter by attributes you won't find elsewhere, like build, arc, or lyrical theme. You're not just looking for a happy song. You're looking for a song that starts introspectively, builds to a soaring, hopeful chorus, and ends on a triumphant note. Their curation is second to none, and their in-house music supervisors are available to help you find the perfect track for your project. This premium quality, of course, comes with a premium price tag and a more traditional licensing structure. While they do offer subscription plans, they are tiered based on usage. A personal YouTube channel is one price, a small business is another, and a full-blown advertising agency is another still. You can also license single tracks for specific projects, which is common for high-budget commercial work. It's more of an investment, but the return on that investment is an immediate and dramatic increase in your production value. Using a MusicBed track tells your audience that you are serious about your craft. It adds a layer of polish and emotional weight that is simply undeniable. So, who is MusicBed for? It's for the pro, the documentary filmmaker, the high-end commercial director, the creative agency, and the YouTube creator whose entire brand is built on an uncompromising, cinematic, premium aesthetic. If you're pitching to big clients or creating flagship content that needs to make a massive impact, MusicBed is the gold standard. So you have the all-you-can-eat buffet with Epidemic, the lifetime pass with Artlist, and the Michelin star dinner with MusicBed. Each one is an incredible tool, serving a different type of creator. But what happens when even these vast, curated libraries don't have the exact sound you're hearing in your head? What if you need something that isn't just licensed by you but was created for you? Something truly unique that becomes the sonic signature of your entire brand? That's when you step beyond licensing and into the world of custom-composed music. And it's not nearly as expensive or as complicated as you might think. So let's talk about the two biggest myths surrounding custom music. Myth number 1. It's only for Hollywood movies and Super Bowl commercials. Myth number 2. It costs a fortune, like you'd have to sell your car to afford a 30-second intro. Both are completely wrong. In today's creator economy, getting a unique piece of music composed just for your channel is more accessible and affordable than ever. Think about it. Your visual branding is probably on point. You have a logo. You have a color scheme. You have a specific font you use on your thumbnails. Why would your audio branding be any different? Why would you use the same track that 1,000 other creators are using when you can have a sonic logo that is instantly recognizable as you? This is the power of a custom score. It's not just background noise. It's a core part of your brand identity. When a viewer hears the first 2 seconds of your intro music, they should know, without even looking at the screen, that they're watching one of your videos. It creates an immediate sense of familiarity and professionalism. It tells your audience that you care about every single detail of the experience you're creating for them. It elevates your content from just another video to a signature production. So, how do you actually do it? Where do you find these mythical composers who aren't working for Hans Zimmer? The answer is they're everywhere, and there are 3 main paths you can take depending on your budget and needs. The first and most accessible path is through freelance marketplaces. Websites like Fiverr and Upwork are goldmines for musical talent. You'll find thousands of composers from all over the world, specializing in every genre imaginable. From epic orchestral scores to lo-fi hip-hop beats to quirky ukulele jingles. The biggest advantage here is the sheer range of options and price points. You can find emerging artists who will create a fantastic intro for you for under $100, and you can find seasoned professionals with extensive portfolios who charge more. The key to success on these platforms is doing your homework. Don't just pick the cheapest option. Listen carefully to their portfolio. Does their style match the vibe of your channel? Read their reviews. Do other clients praise their communication and their ability to take feedback? This path offers incredible value, but it requires you to be a good project manager. The second path is to work with a specialized music production house or a boutique agency. These are companies that act as the middleman. They have a curated roster of vetted composers, and they handle the project management for you. You tell them what you need, and they'll match you with the perfect artist and oversee the entire process. The cost is naturally higher than going directly to a freelancer, but what you're paying for is quality control, expertise, and peace of mind. They understand the language of music and the language of content creation, so they can translate your vision into a professional brief for the composer. If you have a bigger budget and want a more hands-off, premium experience, this is an excellent option. The third path is the most adventurous: direct outreach. This is for the creator who loves to discover hidden gems. You can find incredible undiscovered talent on platforms like SoundCloud, Bandcamp, or even by reaching out to the music departments of universities and conservatories. You might find a student composer who is hungry for experience and has a fresh, unique voice. Or you might stumble upon an independent artist whose style you absolutely love. You can reach out to them directly, tell them you're a fan of their work, and ask if they'd be open to a commission. This approach requires more legwork, and you'll have to handle the negotiation and contract yourself. But it can lead to the most authentic and rewarding collaborations. You're not just hiring a contractor, you're building a relationship with an artist. Regardless of which path you choose, the success of the project hinges on one thing: the brief. The creative brief is the document where you download your vision from your brain and give it to the composer. A vague brief will get you a vague track. A detailed, thoughtful brief will get you music that feels like it was pulled directly from your imagination. So what goes into a killer brief? First, context. Who are you? What is your channel about? Who is your audience? Send them links to a few of your best videos so they can understand your style and pacing. Second, the emotional journey. Don't just say, "I want an upbeat track." Describe the feeling you want to evoke. Do you want excitement and anticipation? A sense of wonder and curiosity? A feeling of comfort and warmth? Should it be inspiring? Funny? Intense? Use powerful adjectives. Third, and this is crucial, provide reference tracks. Find 2 or 3 songs, they can be from anywhere: a movie, another YouTube video, a Spotify playlist, that capture the vibe you're going for. But, and this is a huge warning, be specific about what you like in those tracks. Don't just say, "Make it like this." Say, "I love the driving drum beat in this first track, the melancholic piano melody from the second one, and the overall warm, analog feel of the third one." This prevents the composer from just copying something and gives them creative building blocks to construct something new and unique for you. Fourth, talk about instrumentation. You don't have to be a music theory expert, but you can give general direction. Do you imagine a full orchestra? Or a simple acoustic guitar? A vintage synthesizer? Or a modern electronic beat? The more detail, the better. Finally, specify the technical requirements. What's the length of the track? Do Do you need a main version, a shorter version for an outro, and maybe a 15-second sting for social media? Do you need the stems, the individual instrument tracks, so your editor can have more flexibility in the mix? Thinking about this upfront will save you a ton of headaches later. Once you've sent the brief and hired your composer, the collaborative process begins. They'll typically send you a first draft, often called a work in progress or WIP. Your job is to give clear, constructive feedback. The golden rule is to be specific and focus on the feeling. Instead of saying, "I don't like the drums," try, "Can we make the drums feel a bit more energetic and less repetitive in the second half?" Instead of "The melody is weird," try, "The melody feels a bit sad right now. Could we explore a version that feels more optimistic and uplifting?" Remember, this is a creative partnership. Good feedback leads to good revisions. Finally, let's talk about the two things everyone is really thinking about: cost and rights. The cost can vary wildly, but it's not the budget breaker you fear. For a simple, high-quality 30 to 60-second intro from a talented freelancer on a site like Fiverr, you could be looking at anywhere from $150 to $500. For a full 3-minute track with more complexity, that could range from $500 to a couple of $1,000s. Working with an agency will be higher. Yes, it's more than a subscription to a stock music library, but you're not renting a track. You're owning a custom-built asset for your brand. And that brings us to the rights. This is non-negotiable. You need a contract, often called a work-for-hire agreement, that clearly states you are purchasing a full buyout of the music. This means you have the exclusive perpetual worldwide rights to use that music in any way you see fit for your brand forever. You don't want a license that expires or limits you to just YouTube. You want to own it outright. Any professional composer will understand this and provide the proper agreement. Protects them and it protects you. This piece of music is now a permanent part of your brand's DNA. A true investment that pays dividends in every single video you publish from that day forward. But what happens when that investment, that core piece of your brand's DNA, is threatened by a single terrifying email? The subject line reads, "Copyright claim on your video." Your heart sinks. You did everything right. You paid for the license. You downloaded the track. How is this possible? This is the hidden minefield of music licensing. The part nobody talks about until it's too late. And navigating it is the difference between a thriving channel and one that's constantly looking over its shoulder. The truth is, not all licenses are created equal. Buying a music license is like buying a plane ticket. You can buy a basic economy ticket that gets you from point A to point B, but it comes with 100 restrictions. No check bags, no seat selection, no refunds. Or you can buy a first-class ticket that gives you total freedom. The price on the website doesn't tell the whole story. You have to read the fine print. Let's break down the most common traps and what you absolutely need to look for. The first, and maybe the most overlooked, is the concept of perpetuity. It's a fancy word that just means forever. A perpetual license means that once you use a song in a video, that video is cleared for life. It doesn't matter if you cancel your subscription to the music service a year later. It doesn't matter if that music service goes out of business. That specific video you published is safe forever. Now, contrast this with a non-perpetual or subscription-based license model. With some services, your license is only valid as long as you have an active, paying subscription. This can be a nightmare. Imagine you build a channel with hundreds of videos over 3 years, all using music from one of these services. Then, you decide to switch to a different music library or just stop paying for the subscription. Suddenly, you could start getting copyright claims on all of those old videos. The videos that are the very foundation of your channel are now at risk. Clearing those claims can be an administrative disaster. So, the number one question you need to ask before you download a single track is this license perpetual? Will my videos be safe even if I stop paying you next month? The second hidden trap is usage rights. You see commercial use and think you're good to go. But what does that actually mean? For some licenses, commercial use might just mean you can use it in a standard monetized YouTube video. But what if you want to run that video as a paid ad? That's a different level of commercial use. What if you want to take a clip of that video and post it as a reel or a TikTok? Some licenses are platform-specific. They'll cover you on YouTube but not on other social media. What if you do a brand deal and a company pays you to make a video? That's sponsored content, and it often requires an even more robust license. You have to think about every possible way you might use your video now and in the future. The safest bet is to find a license that grants you worldwide, multi-platform rights for virtually all forms of online video. including paid advertising and sponsored content. It might cost a little more, but the peace of mind in knowing you can repurpose your best content anywhere, anytime, without fear of a takedown notice is priceless. Don't buy the economy ticket that only flies to one city. Get the one that gives you a passport to the entire world. Next up is attribution. This is a simple one, but it trips up so many people. Attribution is just giving credit to the artist or the music library. Some licenses don't require it at all. Some make it optional, and some make it mandatory. If a license requires attribution, it's not a suggestion. It is a legal requirement of your licensing agreement. They will tell you exactly what you need to copy and paste into your video description. If you fail to do this, you are technically in breach of the license, and they would be within their rights to file a copyright claim against you. It's a 5-second task that can save you a massive headache. Always check the attribution rules and follow them to the letter. Don't get lazy. Now let's talk about the big one, the one that causes the most panic. The dreaded Content ID claim. You get the perpetual license, you check the usage rights, you add the attribution, you publish your video, and bam, you still get a claim. What went wrong? In many cases, nothing. You did nothing wrong. This is what's known as a false positive, and it's incredibly common. Here's how it happens. YouTube's Content ID system is an automated robot that scans every video uploaded. It's looking for matches to audio registered in its database. Sometimes, an artist who puts their music on a licensing platform also has their music registered with Content ID to protect it from illegal use. The robot can't tell the difference between you, a legitimate license holder, and someone who pirated the track. Just sees a match and flags it. Your first instinct will be to panic. Your second might be to get angry. Do neither. This is a routine part of the process. Every good music licensing company knows this happens and has a simple system in place to fix it. When you get that claim, you will see an option to dispute it. You click on that and it will give you a list of reasons. You choose the option that says, "I have a license or permission from the copyright holder." In the text box that follows, you will simply state that you have a valid license to use the track from whatever service you used. Then, the most important part, you will provide proof. This is why it is absolutely critical to keep your license certificate. When you download a track from a reputable site, it will usually come with a PDF or a unique license key. You will copy and paste the license information, or even the whole text of the license agreement, into that dispute box. Then you submit it. What happens next is that the dispute gets sent to the claimant, the person or company that Content ID thinks owns the music. They will review your claim, see your license, and they are required to release the claim. The whole process usually takes anywhere from 24 hours to a few days. During this time, your video is not taken down. The worst-case scenario is that monetization is paused on that video until the claim is cleared, at which point any held revenue is released to you. It's an annoyance, not a catastrophe. So, let's put this all together into a simple pre-flight checklist. Before you ever hit purchase or download on a piece of music, you need to be able to answer these 4 questions with a confident yes. 1. Is the license perpetual? Will this video be safe forever, even if my subscription ends? 2. Does the license cover all my potential uses? Worldwide, all social media platforms, sponsored content, and paid ads? 3. Do I understand the attribution requirements? Do I know exactly what, if anything, I need to paste into my description? And 4. Does this service have a clear and simple process for clearing false Content ID claims? If you can tick all 4 of those boxes, you've done your due diligence. You haven't just bought a piece of music. You've acquired a secure asset for your business. You've protected your investment. You've eliminated the single biggest source of legal stress for creators. You are in the clear. Now, with all of that technical, legal stuff out of the way, we can finally get to the most important part. Because having the right music is one thing, but knowing how to use it is something else entirely. You can have the most expensive, perfectly licensed track in the world, but if you just slap it on your timeline, you're wasting 90% of its power. There is a science and an art to editing your video to the music in a way that hooks the viewer, manipulates emotion, and dramatically increases your audience retention. It's the final piece of the puzzle, the secret sauce that separates amateur content from professional, unforgettable storytelling. And it's the one thing almost every creator gets wrong. So what is that one thing? It's a simple, fundamental shift in thinking. Amateurs ask, what music can I put on my video? Professionals ask, what video can I create for this music? Let that sink in. The single biggest mistake creators make is treating music like wallpaper. They spend hours, days, even weeks shooting and editing their masterpiece. They meticulously color grade every shot, they agonize over the perfect title, and then, as the very last step, they scroll through a music library for 2 minutes, grab the first upbeat corporate track they find, slap it under the entire 10-minute video and call it a day. They've just taken a vibrant, dynamic story and painted it beige. They've taken a 3-course meal and drowned it in ketchup. This approach is the silent killer of audience retention. A single looping monotonous track trains your viewer's brain to tune out. It signals that nothing is changing, that the emotional stakes are flat. And in a world of infinite content, a flat emotional line is a death sentence. The secret, the paradigm shift that will elevate your content to the next level, is this: stop editing video and then adding music. Start building your video on a foundation of music. You have to think like a film director, not just a YouTuber. A director and a composer work together to create a score. The music isn't an afterthought. It's a core structural element of the story itself. It's the emotional roadmap that guides the audience. Your job as a solo creator is to be both the director and the composer. And the way you do that is with a workflow I call the soundtrack first method. It will change everything about how you create. Here's how it works. Step 1. Before you even open your editing software, you create an emotional blueprint. Take out a piece of paper or open a blank document and map out the story of your video. Not the practical steps, but the emotional journey you want the viewer to take. For example, intro, high energy, excitement, hook. Section 1, curiosity, learning, discovery. Section 2, the struggle, tension, a problem arises. Section 3, the breakthrough, the solution, a moment of aha. Climax, triumph, success, the big reveal. Outro, reflection, inspiration, a call to action. You've just outlined 6 different emotional beats. Why on earth would you use one song for all of them? Step 2 is to curate your soundtrack. Now, armed with your emotional blueprint, you go to your music library of choice. But you're not looking for one perfect track. You are a DJ curating a playlist for your video. You find a high-energy banger for the intro. You find a thoughtful, ambient piece for the learning section. You find a tense, suspenseful track with a low drone for the struggle. You find a song with the powerful build and an epic drop for the breakthrough and climax. And you find a chill, optimistic lo-fi track for the outro. You download all of them. You've just assembled the sonic palette for your story. Step 3, build the sonic bed. Now, you open your editing software, and what's the very first thing you do? You do not import your video footage. You import your curated playlist of music. You lay these tracks down on the timeline in the order of your emotional blueprint. You trim them, you fade them into each other, creating a seamless emotional journey in audio form. You can literally close your eyes and listen to the timeline, and you should be able to feel the story of your video. This is your sonic bed. This is your foundation. Only now, in step 4, do you start editing your video. But you're not just randomly dropping clips anymore. You are cutting to the music. You're using the music as your guide. When the beat drops, you make a cut. When the music swells, you show your most epic B-roll shot. When the music pulls back and gets quiet, you let a key moment of dialogue or a poignant visual breathe. The music is no longer fighting your edit. It's driving your edit. Your cuts will have rhythm. Your pacing will have purpose. Your video will suddenly feel alive, breathing in time with the soundtrack you so carefully constructed. The difference is not subtle. It's monumental. Let's make this real. Imagine you're making a video about building a standing desk from scratch. The old way, you'd film the whole process, edit it all together into a 12-minute timeline, then go to a music site, type in DIY upbeat, and drop that one track underneath everything. The result? A perfectly fine but utterly forgettable tutorial. Now let's use the soundtrack first method. Your emotional blueprint looks like this. Intro, frustration with sitting all day. The spark of an idea, energetic, problem-solving vibe. The plan, sketching, buying materials, thoughtful, building anticipation. The build, cutting wood, hitting a snag, overcoming it, driving, percussive with moments of tension and release. The final assembly, everything coming together, a steady, uplifting build. The reveal, the finished desk in a beautiful, clean workspace, epic, soaring, triumphant. Outro, final thoughts on the benefits, calm, inspiring, positive. You go and find 5 or 6 distinct pieces of music. You lay that emotional journey down on your timeline first. Then you start cutting. That opening shot of you looking tired at your old desk? It's time to a glitchy, frustrated-sounding synth beat. The montage of you cutting wood and drilling screws? It's cut perfectly to the beat of that driving rock track, making the construction feel dynamic and powerful. When you realize you cut a piece of wood too short, the moment of struggle, the driving music cuts out, replaced by a low, tense, ambient drone. The audience feels your frustration. Then, when you figure out a clever solution, a new, optimistic musical theme begins to build, and you cut your footage to match that rising energy. And for that final reveal shot, the slow-motion pan across your brand-new, beautiful desk? You've timed it perfectly to the most epic cinematic swell of that triumphant orchestral track you found. Which video are you going to watch to the end? Which video are you going to remember? Which creator are you going to subscribe to because you didn't just learn something, you felt something? It's not even a competition. You've transformed a simple DAW video into a short film. You've created a hero's journey. And all it took was shifting your perspective by treating music not as the final decoration, but as the foundational blueprint. This is the final piece of the puzzle. We've talked about where to find the music, how to understand the licenses, and how to search for the perfect track. But none of it matters if you don't apply it correctly. Your story dictates the emotion dictates the music, and the music should dictate your edit. So for your very next video, I challenge you. Before you import a single video clip, stop. Create your emotional blueprint. Go to your music library and curate a playlist that tells your story. Build your sonic bed first. Then, and only then, build your visual story on top of that powerful emotional foundation. I promise you the result will be the most dynamic, engaging, and professional-feeling video you have ever made. You will see it in your audience retention, you will read it in your comments, and you will feel it in your own pride as a creator. Because you'll have finally unlocked the true power of music to turn your content into an experience.